Okay. Welcome to Star Talk with Alyssa Thorne. And we have with us a kindness expert. Her name is Teresa Ramirez. And I would love for you to share what would be your definition for kindness?
My definition for kindness. First of all, Carly, thank you for having me. Kindness is where we are lifting other people up. If you're not lifting somebody up during an interaction, then you're not being kind.
Exactly. That is a perfect definition, actually. I wish more people thought of it like that, but because that's the perfect definition. You want to treat others as you want to be treated, and you want to treat others with kindness. So I know you also wrote a book, and that one is more geared for parents, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so do you want to talk about your book a little bit, and then you can go back into kindness wherever you like.
Sure. My book is called, I've got one right here. It's called Raising Kind Children, and it did win an award in the family category. So I was very excited. But basically, what Raising Kind Children does is it becomes a process. It is a kind of almost a step by step, but during the steps, I say whatever works for you, what you encounter during your day. So all of this starts at home with the parents. You need to become the CEOs and decide what philosophies and values you want to instill in your children. And that is a sit down and talk about it. The whole process is being intentionally kind, not just random, but taking it up that next level and being intentional. And at this stage, I did have a couple who came to me and said, yeah, we laid down the values. We had a little family meeting and told our two teenage sons, and the sons were like, we are on board. We're going to do this, but we want to add something to the list. And the parents are like, okay. They said they want to remove hate, the word hate, from their vocabulary. They had seen how detrimental that word can be out in the world. So they want to remove that word. So at the CEO, where you're making the values, include your children. It's very, very important. And in that scenario, anytime someone used the word hate in the home, they had to put money into a jar. And at the end of the year, they donated that money to charity. So just compounded on that kindness. Now, in subsequent years, they haven't had any money in it, and that was good. That was the goal that they wanted. And then you just go from there. How are you sending your kids out the door in the morning? How are you sending your significant other out the door in the morning? And I always say sticky notes are the greatest thing. And you put it on the bathroom mirror. You're awesome. You rock. For your significant other next to the coffee mug, I appreciate you. Just those little things. It's all about the little things you encounter during your day. And you can do that in your workplace when you're encouraging your kids to say hi to the carpool driver, the bus driver, the principal, the cafeteria worker, all those people that are encountered during your kids' day, and all the people you encounter during your day. And it's just being intentional, smile and hello, very simple. Okay, now you've gone off and you're in the grocery store. And I had somebody who, God love them, she was because we've all been there as moms, we've all been in this spot where you're in the grocery store, you have this screaming toddler in your cart, and you're just sitting, I just need to get two things and I can get out of here. And she happened to be at the produce section. And the produce bags, we all know, are just torment to get open. And she couldn't get it open. And you could just see it on her face, how angry and frustrated. And the world was just a horrible place right in that moment. Well, a gentleman came over, opened the produce bag, handed it over. The weight of the world has been lifted off her shoulders. The toddler has stopped crying, and she can get her couple things and get out just like that. All somebody did was open a produce bag. And it made all the difference in the world to that woman. So it's these kind of simple, easy things that happen every day. And then from that, you can be an organizer of sock drives. Homeless shelters, number one thing they ask for are new socks. Do that with the soccer team, the chess club, the drama club. Get them together, be the organizers of that. And then it goes into what I call the payoff, how to be kind in those awkward, sticky situations, and using techniques to make that happen as well. But you have to build the foundation, make it as natural as breathing, and that starts with the parents.
It does. I was going to say, and I actually was working on a documentary called Paying It Forward, the ripple
Mhm.
effect.
Yes.
I think it's the ripple effect is the important part. The paying it forward is just the act of doing kindness. However, it's the ripple effect that people need to think about, because if they think about the ripple effect, they'll do more kind things.
And people need to understand the ripple effect is real.
Yeah.
It is a real thing. And I have gone through my research, found I don't know how many studies that if you and I, Carly, exchange an act of kindness, our serotonin, our oxytocin, our dopamine levels, our happy hormones go up. But the fascinating thing is anyone around us, their happy hormones go up as well. And it goes into the ripple effect. If 5 people see that, and then they go out and spread kindness to 5 more people, now you've got 25 happy people doing acts of kindness, and then those 25 do another 5. So you're now up to over 100 people sharing act of kindness from the one little act of kindness you and I started right here. And I believe that those ripples are going to merge together and create a wave of kindness that washes across the country. And we can do it.
We can. I think a lot of it is us letting go of all the negativity, letting go of the things that no longer serve us,
Mm-hmm.
and surround yourself at all times with people that are in alignment with your values and what you believe. And I think that way it's a lot easier if you're around people that know, like, and trust you. And it's the
Absolutely.
same thing. You want to find people like that too. So you want to be that for others, and you want to find that.
Yes.
It's such an important thing to have community and have collaboration and teamwork and all that.
No, it absolutely is. And, just how you treat each other again, day to day situations. I'm not talking about huge, big acts of kindness, which are great. Not saying that it's great, but it's the little day to day that make those ripples and creates those ripple effects.
They do. Where can they find your book?
My book is on Amazon and it's Raising Kind Children.
Okay. And if someone wanted to reach out to you, where would they reach out to?
They can reach out to me at journeyandkindness.com and hit that contact button, and I do respond to everyone.
Wonderful. What are 3 tips that you would leave the audience with?
The number one tip is that personal pain is as unique as a fingerprint. You never know what someone is going through. So always, always be kind. And that is a philosophy that I firmly believe we need to live by. The second thing is take a pause. And before you react, just sit back and say, wait a minute. Are you going to lash back out at somebody? Just sit back, change your perception, and know that it's not always about you. So sit back, take that pause before you lash out at someone. And I think the last tip would be to listen more.
Yeah, we don't actively listen. We need to actively listen to what someone is saying so that we can respond appropriately. Um, yeah, that's so important. It's just so important to have a conversation that is so open that you can say anything to the person. I don't know, I think a lot of people, they run and hide and they kind of roll up in a little ball, and they don't really, they don't share in a way that's vulnerable. And that's where the vulnerability is where you can make the connections with people. And it's the connections with people that get you business and friendships and, and that ripple effect. So it's so important.
And that can, that vulnerability, it doesn't have to be anything huge. I have said it's so simple. My number one suggestion on where do I start? Smile and say hello to
Mhm.
people.
Yeah,
Get
exactly.
off the phones, put your phones down.
Exactly. So, do you have any offerings that you're offering for people? Do you have a call or a call to action or something that, for people?
Yes, I actually do. And you have the link. It is 75 acts of kindness, and it is a list of acts of kindness. It starts out with the smile and hello, the easy stuff, all the way down to the 75th is to plant trees, being kind to the planet. And I think it's a great tool. If you don't know where to begin to be kind, to be intentional, sit down with your kids, let them pick out which ones you're going to focus on this day or this week.
That's perfect. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on. I love talking about kindness and helping others. It's such a vital topic that needs to be talked about more. And I implore people to reach out to you, get your book, and have a conversation with you about kindness. I thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you guys all next week. Have a great day.
Thank you.
That was perfect.